Oh, uppity broad, is it? Bam! Motherfucker.
Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue, where we are Takapa. My name is Mary.
I'm Josh.
I'm Melanie. Welcome.
Okay, and
Yes, welcome.
what are all y'all's drinking? That's always an important thing.
I'm pounding some H2O.
Aqua.
Ooh, the Hall & Oates album from 1982, 83, around there. Yes, I like that album. Enlighten us, Melanie, with your beverage this evening.
I may have had
Educate
this one
us.
before. It's Dogfish Head Camp Amp.
Camp Amp.
Yeah, it's a
Rhymes.
It's like a. Yeah. Well,
very
it's a milk
campy.
stout, and it's got marshmallows and chocolate powder and stuff in there. So.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I had Hershey's Kisses recently that were hot chocolate flavor, and they had the chocolate on the outside and a marshmallowy center.
Nice.
Everybody's jumping on that
it's
baked
like biting
bandwagon,
into-
kind of like with M&Ms. Did you see those?
Yes, like the M&Ms that I have now that are white chocolate with pretzel in the middle. It's a sweet and salty combination.
I'm not a huge
It's from-
white chocolate fan.
It's a
I've never
Christmas
been big on white
leftover.
chocolate.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
When you go in the day after Christmas,
Right. And it's
there's
on
another
clearance,
holiday.
You just get it, yeah.
There's another holiday
It's
called
25
half
cents.
off. It's called Half Off Candy Day.
Yeah,
It
for
happens several
As well
times
as
a year.
February
We do that for
15th.
Easter a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right.
And after Hallmark Day in February.
For
Actually,
sure.
I'm taking that day off. I'm taking February 14th off because, you know what, night before Super Bowl.
You
No,
got a
party.
lover?
But,
Oh.
What is it? What's February 13th anyway? Lonely Hearts Day? That's
Isn't
that's
that-
the
is it-
on Valentine's
Which one's
Day.
Galentine's Day?
I think it's the day after.
Is that the 15th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call February 14th either Hallmark Day or Singles
Yeah.
Awareness
Well,
Day.
the 13th is the Super Bowl, and I don't give a fuck about the game. I just go to a really good party, and I mean, who wants to go to a party on a Sunday night and have to work the next day? So PTO, baby.
Right. You might take it off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mom, my boss
And-
is all for it.
and,
She's like, "Oh my god, they should make it a national holiday." Like, no.
I'm drinking my usual bourbon tonight. And
what you've been doing,
that's the way it flows.
All right. I would like to thank our Patreon members, Captain America, Sheen Pye, Laura Bernheim, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano. They are joining us over at patreon.com, where they're listening to us read them the fan fiction book Dallas by Lee Raintree. They're listening to our obnoxious outtakes that don't make the main feed cut, where we are
God.
sometimes way more inappropriate than I feel comfortable with putting it out in public.
Oh, we're way inappropriate.
And also just kind of being way off topic and talking about random shit. So if you're interested in any of that, head over to patreon.com/EwingBBQ. And if you're not, that's fine too. Being here is good.
You'll hear us read Dallas Erotica.
Yeah, it's Dallas Erotica. It's
Not as good as Betty White reading Peter Griffin
Oh my
Erotica,
God.
but
close.
We hold our own.
We do our best. What can we say?
I just wanted to throw something out there.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough to be getting some of the cast members looking at our pages and following us and stuff like that.
Yeah, in our group. It's
Just,
pretty
I
exciting.
got a
Just if you're going to post and you're not a fan of a certain character or something like that,
Don't be a dick.
that's fine. Just state that, but
Don't be openly offensive to the actors. We had an incident this week that was really... I wish I would have caught it. I would have deleted it if I'd seen it before the actor did.
Oh my god! Like, no, seriously, I've seen this with like Twitter and just there's some you just
Right.
you
Don't do that.
don't like okay, and you don't have to cut this part out because I don't even care who's like listening right now. Don't be shitty because people see that stuff and I know they're actors and I know you're like, oh well, if they get that personal about it, you know. Maybe they shouldn't be acting, but you know what?
It's their job. It's their job.
Why do you feel the need to
Why
be...
do they have to put up with abuse?
Why do you feel the need to be shitty? Why can't you just, like, keep that comment to yourself? Like, what did you hope to gain? God!
two birthdays. Frederick Lean, who played Eddie in
Eddie.
season...
Eddie.
Hot biscuits.
Eddie Cronin? Yep, born in 1959, and his birthday is February 3rd. So he is 63. And on Saturday, February 6th, Gail Honeycutt, who played Vanessa, born in 1943, so she will be 79?
79, yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem possible that
I
we're
know,
having
it's crazy.
70s and 80s, like, birthdays come up. It's just crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
None of them look like it.
Like, what did I see? Somebody posted the other day, welcome to your 40s. Kurt Loder from MTV is 76 years old now.
Yeah, that blows my mind. That just means he was way older than I thought he was when he was on MTV News.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio is older than Pat Morita was when he played Mr. Miyagi. And he still looks younger.
It's a little bizarre to me right now seeing Carson Daly on the Today Show.
Yeah. All right, let's dive.
All right, so tonight we are talking about Season 4, Episode 17, The New Mrs. Ewing.
I think he's going to try to make it to the platform for the victory speech.
Oh, Miss Ellie, this is wonderful. I know, and I know just how he'll feel about Takapa.
There really is something that we have to talk about.
The time to talk was before you changed the trust.
What do I do now? Where do I go?
Trust your instincts.
Everything you touch, you spoil. JR, you and your daddy use people up and then throw them away. Even members of your own family. You both sicken me.
There's a new Mrs. Ewing.
There's a new Mrs. Ewing, kind of, I guess. It was written by Linda B. Elstad, directed by Patrick Duffy, and his first time directing on the show, which I think this is his first of 9, I believe, times he directs.
It is his first of 29.
Oh, 29.
Episodes.
I knew there was a 9 in there. 29. And it aired February 27th, 1981.
And it ranked number 2 for the week. Oh, we're actually in the same month.
Oh, yeah.
February.
We are. And just 41 years later.
That was the lowest rating of the season to date. Steve Canale was actually glad that Susan Howard's character married into the family, and Katzman was really trying to bring in some Texans to the show because she was actually from Marshall, Texas, like her character was. 3 other cast members actually directed episodes besides him and Larry. It was Linda Gray, Steve Canale, and Ken Kercheval. And Susan Howard actually wrote 2 episodes.
I knew that.
And in a switch, Gunnar Hellstrom, who was a director, actually later acted on the show.
Yay.
Let's cut the trivia and get right to it.
We open on South Fork. JR is pissed about Jock changing the trust to include Ray. I mean, surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm. Sue Ellen doesn't seem all there, does she?
Not at all.
She's just kind of vacant.
She does not seem to give one fuck at all.
She even says as much, and if she wasn't on network television, she probably would have said that as she walked out of them. I don't give a flying.
Right, she's like, why would this possibly matter to me? And JR is just like, oh yeah, good point.
She just doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
No, I kind of like Sue Ellen when she doesn't give a damn. Like,
yeah,
she's like,
she just kind of seems like she's in a daze for like the whole first part of this episode.
She does.
Which I guess she probably is.
Sue Ellen, let me put it in terms you understand. The amount of money that you have available to you has just been, some of that has been taken away and given to somebody else.
haven't been paying attention very well because she puts on a good front, but I don't think that she really cares about money all that much anymore.
I think if he would have explained, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I think if JR would have been like, the amount of money that's going to go to your son eventually from his grandfather has lessened, she may have cared. But in this moment, she doesn't.
And that's the thing. They're freaking like multi-millionaires, like billionaires. What? Like, who cares if they divide it? You're gonna have more money than like John Ross's grandkids will have enough money. Like, who cares?
Right. That's a weird thing. It's a trust. And usually a trust is something like you put aside for like when someone gets to be an age or something. I mean, JR's in his 40s at this point. Like, why would you have this in a trust? Like, I guess, was it supposed to be his will? They say trust, but was it supposed to be will?
We're about to find out.
True.
Yeah. The will gets interesting.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows why rich families like that have things set up the way they do. Honestly, the things I deal with at work every day, I learned a lot of that from watching Dallas. Like, why people set up shell corporations, dummy corporations, hide behind LLCs, move shit offshore.
Cayman Islands,
it's all
Swiss
to
bank
avoid
accounts.
paying taxes.
Yeah. Why,
It's all
why they have two different legal entities set up with that, and they're, they try to say, oh, they're the same owners. Oh, this company pays the bills of that company. I'm like, try again. They have no legal obligation to.
Okay, so then we cut to breakfast, where we see Bobby and Pam briefly, and then it just, as they leave, and then there's just deafening silence between Jock and Ellie.
And damn, that's a long table.
And it's apparently election day, too.
Yes.
This whole election, it's other campaigns when the Ewings have backed other candidates. You've seen them all rally and get involved and have these parties. For Bobby, they did nothing.
I was thinking the exact same thing. They're literally they're just kind of like, oh, hey, good luck. But that's it. Like, no one's even paying attention.
JR, Sue Ellen, and Lucy were not even at the...
I know.
But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
But
first of all,
right now
that's
it's
a
breakfast.
long ass table.
Yes, it is.
When there's only two of them there, I didn't realize how long the table was.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
They're in different zip codes.
Yeah.
But
at that table,
I get why Miss Ellie is so mad, because Jock made a decision about the trust without her, and
right.
I mean, technically, it is her. It started as her money, and then he added to it with the oil and stuff, but it is theirs. They're in a marriage. Yes. These decisions should be made by both of them. Now, I think if he had talked to her about it, she would have been like, yeah, okay. But it's the fact that he didn't even talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Is she still thinking that Jock and Ray drove Gary away, and would she be upset?
I think that she's having conflicted feelings about it, for sure. But I think she's gonna come to some peace about it eventually, and it's just literally how Jock is handling it too. Like, if he went and talked to her and said, like, I know your feelings, but like, he's my son and I'd like to include him, blah blah blah, she probably would have maybe at first been like, I have to think about it. But I think that I really believe Ellie would have come around and said, okay, yes, it's the right thing to do.
Definitely, because
I think
right, because initially she was stung when Gary said, oh, the ranch is in good hands, I don't have to come back here, and that really crushed her hope.
But that wasn't Ray's fault,
because it wasn't Ray's fault, and it was all Gary. Like, hell, I don't want to be here, and she was taking that out on the wrong person.
Right. You would think that's how it's going to go. Dialing back from spoiler.
I mean, she's Miss Ellie. Like, she's not gonna. Miss Ellie doesn't care. She's the one. Okay, this is my thought on that. Miss Ellie is the one who told Sue Ellen to adopt if she wanted a child that badly. She would love somebody in the family no matter how they came to be there.
Right.
So, I know Jock, messed around, had an affair, it was wartime, blah, 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 but, when she comes down off of her mad, it's Ellie Southworth Ewing. She's gonna let it go.
Right.
When she puts the horsewhip away and the shotgun back in the hall closet.
She was just having some feelings about it, which she's allowed to have feelings about it.
Allowed to have feelings about it. And she's also allowed to be pissed that her husband didn't talk to her about something very big.
Yes, she is. And yes, agreed on all of that. Anyway.
Like you said, when they're married and it's 50-50 and the money and this and that, and it's theirs and not
trust me,
his
I see
or
my
hers.
own parents having their arguments about it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. One of them will make a decision and not talk to the other one. And it's usually my father who does it. Yep.
Communicating. Mm-hmm. Well, Jock says he'd like to communicate. He's like, hey, I'd really like to talk to you now, which is like maybe a little too late, Jock.
Yeah.
And Ellie says as much, and she's just like, yeah,
she's like,
I gotta go now.
Bye. Time to do that.
She's leaving because the DOA is going to stop Takapa, and he's like, we really got to talk.
You're right.
She's like, no, we should have done that before you messed with the trust, buddy. Bye.
Mm-hmm. I don't got time for this, so bye.
Before you messed with the trust and you lost my trust.
Basically.
Yep. And then we cut to Ray's.
And he's
Meanwhile.
And... Right.
And it's weird. This book, the 25 Years of Duff, says that this is the first time we see inside Ray's house, which is wrong because we saw it in the last episode.
And what book is it?
The Barbara Curran book.
Which is Dallas, the
25
complete
Years of Dallas.
Story of the world's favorite primetime soap opera, which if you are interested in that, you should buy it at your favorite bookstore. So Ray and Donna are all cozy and cuddly in Ray's house, and Ray asks Donna if she's going to tell Ellie about Takapa. And she's like...
Yeah,
It puts me in a bad position.
That's not my place.
She's like, this is a bad position for me, which she's not wrong. Like, it's not her place to tell Ellie...
I can see where that is, like, really conflicting, though.
Yeah, right, because she doesn't want to keep something from her.
He says, well, you all could just back off the whole Takapa issue.
Right.
And she's like, dude,
just stop.
Wait a minute.
Didn't they just have that argument?
Yes, they did.
This thing seems to be driving a wedge between a lot of people.
Yeah, just a bit.
He said, it's land that's not being used. You could turn a profit. And she's like, well, you sound like a greedy businessman, not that cowboy that I met and fell in love with. And ultimately, they agree to leave Takapa outside their house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
they're not going to agree on that.
So Lucy is at the casting call audition thing for Miss Young Dallas and unprepared.
Did they give Charlene one purple outfit for this episode and have her just repurpose it and re-accessorize it?
Maybe. She's cute though. She looks really cute.
Yeah, she's got that little hat and that little like bow tie-ish type
and
thing.
The little suspenders.
Suspendery.
Yeah, I dig that look.
Because she wore purple every scene in this episode except I think the last scene.
I did not notice her purple theme this episode.
And I thought, let's see, the wardrobe gave her one outfit and said, we're just going to re-accessorize this thing and
maybe
get you through an episode on the cheap.
Maybe. Yeah. She is unprepared. One of the fellow models is like, so you don't have a resume or headshots or anything? And she says a deer in headlights. Like, what? I was supposed to bring stuff?
It's almost like the other one's trying to psych her out and get her out of her head.
Maybe. Right. It's either she's psyching her out or she's trying to be helpful, but kind of being a little, questionable about it. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know in that modeling. It's probably a cutthroat business. We don't.
Probably.
None of us know, but
I would guess.
Just trying to, backstab their way to the top, or
right. But she is right. She doesn't have anything with her, or she isn't prepared. And Alex kind of says as much when she goes in to see him. I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I should have realized he was going to be the one to personally pick the model, but. He's just like, so where's your headshots? And she's like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to have any. Whoops.
So he says, here, go to this photographer friend of mine and get them done and come back with them. And she's all excited and she leaves and Pam comes in and tells her Lucy got the job.
I don't know.
And he hasn't even seen anybody else, basically.
I feel like there's I feel like there's strings attached here. I was like,
you're right. So
he was really professional.
So
and
does
I'm
Pam.
like, you're too. Yeah, this is too easy. Mm-hmm. You're not being creepy. What's going on? This is weird.
Right. And he was basically like, I don't really care who it is, but if it makes you happy, Pam, then I'll pick Lucy. And Pam's like, okay. All right.
Creepo.
It matters more that I please you, Pam. Okay.
Okay, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we cut to the Dr. Elby's psychiatric couch where Sue Ellen is lying down.
That is like...
looking like she's in a goddamn trance.
Right?
Like the trance she was in when she was hypnotized to remember whether she shot JR or not.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
That's so cliche, though, like lying on the couch in the psychiatrist's office.
I know. So cliche.
This is an interesting scene.
But she looks pretty chill, actually. She's like...
She starts off by pretty much saying that her life is meaningless without Dusty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Excuse me, woman. You have a damn child.
I know. Poor John Ross. Yeah.
if this kid doesn't, grow up to be in like a criminal or a drug addict or something, or drunk from neglect and all this stuff, I'll be surprised.
Have some issues, maybe.
Yes.
But he reminds her that she should be proud of herself, and he's proud of her because she's abiding by Dusty's wishes and not just going after what she wants. So she's being very strong there, and that she should keep going with that. And she's done so much, and she should trust her instincts and let the past be the past and move on.
Forge your own path into the future,
right,
to infinity and beyond.
That's just flying with style. She says she'll try.
She's unsure, but she'll try.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, all you can ask. And so Leslie and JR are watching the election returns, and Bobby's in the lead. And she thinks the family must be really proud of him. And JR is just gleeful, and he's like, yeah, they might be proud for now, but sooner or later he's gonna fall from grace because of the Takapa deal. Like he's gonna piss off either Mama or Daddy, and then you can just see how happy that makes JR.
What did he have, like a 12,000 vote lead in that area or something, and then it was gonna grow?
Yeah.
Voter fraud, not.
Hanging chads.
Right, exactly. Oh my God. And then Jordan Lee calls to see if JR is interested in some oil leases, and Leslie asks if she can sit in on the meeting.
I don't like that idea.
JR doesn't seem to love it, but he doesn't say no.
I don't like the idea.
And then we cut to Jock, Punk.
Stick to marketing. Do your marketing, your PR.
Right. Jock, Punk, and Ray are also watching TV of the election results, and it seems that Bobby has won.
Their reactions
and then we cut from
were just classic.
In a landslide.
Woo!
I had trouble at first telling if that was Morgan Woodward, who plays Punk, doing that, letting out that whoop, or coming from the TV. It was kind of.
I thought it was Punk,
but I'm going to give credit to Punk Anderson because it fits with his character.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Letting out that whoop. Punk said that that's going to work in their favor for Takapa.
Right. Yes, he does.
And then Ray and Jock leave for the acceptance speech. And then we also see Cliff drowning his misery at the lounge where Afton sings.
I thought I'd see
watching
Afton,
this on TV.
but we just see her poster in the background. But he's drinking heavily. He's doing like doubles of bourbon. That
exterior shot of that lounge is not good.
It makes
it's very dark. It's drab.
I always, I guess, pictured that place to be like a fancier thing, but that really just like looks like some lounge that would be like on the side of a road next to like an Applebee's or some shit.
Like near the South Fork Hotel, they had a place called Twin Peaks, the restaurant chain.
The restaurant
chain. It's like Hooters.
It was Hooters, right?
It is like Hooters. That's what Twin Peaks is.
Except for...
Yeah, Twin Peaks. That's what they're talking about,
It's Hooters,
right?
except for then every single person I know would send me pictures whenever they went past one. They're like, look, Twin Peaks.
I was tempted to walk in there one day and just go, can I have a damn fine slice of cherry pie, please?
I bet you would not be the first person who did that either.
Yeah, but that exterior shot really needs to be redone because it looks bad.
Right.
It's I'm sorry, I'm a video critic. As a videographer, I shot composition was poor.
Fair enough. And then we go to the headquarters where Bobby's making his acceptance speech. And Donna and Ellie are so excited because of what he's going to do for Takapa.
Did you notice the composition of this scene where all the men are on one side of the stage and the women are on the other side of the stage?
To show the division. Dun, dun, dun.
And the looks that each one of them give Bobby before we cut.
Poor Bobby.
There's trouble ahead.
Yes, there's definitely trouble ahead. I wrote, oof, yeah, this is going to be bad.
This is not going to go down well. This is going to go down like a bottle of castor oil at a blueberry pie eating contest in Stand By Me.
And I saw a few people of color in the audience in this scene, which is like the first time this season, I think. So yay, a little diversity in Dallas.
That's true, because I just remember Irma P. Hall as the caterer in the miniseries barbecue episode.
Yes.
Tilly?
That was a while ago. Oh, and then when they went to the poor side of town when Sue Ellen was buying the baby. And
from Talia Balsam.
Yeah. But yes, the show has a serious lack of diversity. So whenever I see someone not being a server of some sort, thank you, I'm going to point it out and give them at least a little bit of credit.
And it's funny, when they were on the TV screen as Bobby and Pam were coming in, I saw this guy with whitish hair that moved past a couple times, and from the back, he looked a little similar to David Wayne. So I'm going, oh, is Digger Barnes floating around in the Digger Barnes #1 floating around as an extra in this scene?
That would be weird. I don't think Digger Barnes would have been clapping.
No, he wouldn't have. Maybe he was there with a gun.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Bobby's speech is short and to the point, not like some of those long, drawn-out political speeches. I wish more political speeches were short and to the point.
Right? Yeah, agreed.
Oh, man.
I wish just like all speeches were short and to the point. Who has the time? For real.
Yeah, seriously. Going on about all this crap, and I'm sitting there going... So let's see, where are we? Oh, Bobby and Pam sitting on the stairs.
Yeah, they're sitting on the stairs, super tired.
They look like they're in jail.
That's exactly what I thought. They looked like prison
they were
bars.
I think it was but I was like, why, guys? Why are you sitting on the stairs? Like, why?
That was weird. It's a weird move, right?
Oh.
I thought the composition of that scene was set up to show that they're going to be imprisoned by the senatorial seat with what's coming with Takapa.
Probably. This is Patrick Duffy's first time directing, I think, so he's going to go all out.
And what was interesting about Patrick Duffy directing was Steve Canale found him a little bit more precise a director than Hagman, but was also good-natured and easy to work with.
That sounds like a good director.
And something very interesting that I actually should have mentioned was that their relationship as actors changed when he directed this episode, because they were, up till this point, we're in what, season 4? Mm-hmm. But thereabouts, they were never truly comfortable with each other.
Who
could have fooled me?
Victoria and Patrick?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
There was that friendly competition when you got into a scene, and
I remember
she developed. They were very he said they were very territorial in front of the camera, and it was a strain. But once he directed, Victoria developed an appreciation for her, and for the first time, she started to trust him. And some of their best scenes are on the show or between them, and they happen after they got comfortable with each other. And it brought a professional aspect to their relationship. So I find it interesting that for them to say that it took 4 years for them to break down into that.
And it's funny, too, because there were a couple of great outtakes from this episode, and you would have thought just from those, that they were already there.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I read that, reading up on this episode for the
that is surprising.
Tonight, but
so they're sitting on the stairs. They're super tired, and Pam has been worrying about Cliff, but she says she knows it's not Bobby's fault and that she's proud of him. And I feel like does a lot of like getting that elephant out of the room a little bit, and like just clears the air between them enough. And yeah.
And they go upstairs, and she gives him a present, which is wrapped in some of the ugliest wrapping paper I have seen.
His soapbox. His very own soapbox.
A literal soapbox. Which is... All right.
Bobby's not interested in the soapbox, though. He wants to bing, bang, bong.
He wants a different kind of box.
He wants to go to Pound Town.
He's interested in Pam's back.
And finally, because they've been fighting.
Right.
Maybe there was some angry sticks in there, but...
Right. This is the
they
first
go to Pound Town
consensual, like, oh, we both really want each other, sexy time that we've seen this season, maybe? And
one other thing we forgot to do at Sue Ellen's scene with Dr. Elby, she said, I don't understand.
Oh, okay. Drunken late. So then...
Leslie comes home.
Yep, Leslie comes home to find Justin, her ex, on her couch.
Justin Carlisle. I wonder if he's related to Duke Carlisle. Apparently he kept his key.
Yeah, this is a little on the sad side, I think, from his point of view. Like, this is... Dude, what are you doing? This is what I guess a stalker would do, like, pre-texting days, you know? This is like texting your ex at, like, 3 a.m.
Yes. The dude is just pathetic.
Yeah.
It's just...
He's all like, you need me. Like, you're forgetting that you need me. And she's like, the fuck I do? What are you talking about? And
I haven't needed you up till now. Why would I need you?
Right. And then he's like, you know, JR's going to figure out, you know, what you're up to. And he only hired you because you're the new girl in town. And he doesn't actually need you. I mean, he's not wrong about that.
And when he gets bored with you, I'll be right here.
Right. And she was just like, you're boring. Which is, that's pretty hilarious, actually.
Kind of is boring.
It's a very, like, Regina George thing to say. You're boring.
He's boring and sad.
Yeah, boring and sad. Just, ugh. Then she throws him out.
I was wondering if he was going to leave with his drink, but she took it back.
That's right.
She took the drink back.
Yeah.
And she said JR needs her, and this is to herself, obviously, out loud. He just needs to be reminded how much.
Right. And it's like, what does that mean, Leslie? I don't...
Does it have something to do with those little reels of tape that she's recording?
Right. So then we cut to breakfast.
Breakfast.
And JR's doing what Bobby should have done when Bobby was running the company. He's just kind of like telling Jock a little bit, just giving him nuggets about what's going on. He tells him that the cartel is coming knocking. And Jock's pretty good. He's happy to know the info, and he's happy about that.
Yeah. But this is like the other child getting more attention because he has a bigger news. Bobby comes down with the hat from the election,
right.
And Jock's all happy and blah blah blah. And you can tell JR looks like, oh,
crestfallen. Yeah.
You stole my attention.
Exactly.
Remember me?
That was like 3rd grade JR right there. Like, oh.
I imagine that was what Jimmy Fallon's childhood was like, because he always comes across as an attention-starved child on this show.
Jimmy Fallon. Maybe.
How he always he interrupts his musical guests, like Billy Joel. That one time, Billy wanted to punch him in the face. It looked like it. But
I've never watched Jimmy Fallon, so I don't know.
You're not missing anything. He's horrible.
Not true.
I see Jimmy Fallon on the Universal Studio Tour. When you go through that, Jimmy Fallon hosts that as you're going around, and he's pretty annoying. So
there are some good things.
He can't sing. He needs to stop trying to sing, first of all.
So Sue Ellen goes to Dusty's, and she sees that the house is for sale, and she just stands across the street with the saddest look on her face.
Wah, wah. She gets in the car and drives away.
Yeah. Then we cut to Ray and Donna.
They're coming. Where are they? They're coming out of some building.
I think they bought the marriage license, is my guess.
Oh, okay.
I think they just bought it. And then she was like, well, what if we have Jock and Ellie stand up for us, you know? And Ray's like,
I'm not Ellie's number one. Ellie's not my number one fan right now.
Yeah. He doesn't want it to be awkward, and he feels like that might be awkward at this moment, so they choose Bobby and Pam.
To go to a Justice of the Peace wedding, which is kind of fitting because Bobby and Pam got married at a Justice of the Peace in New Orleans.
Yep. And then we cut to Sue Ellen. She calls Clint, and she asks him if he wants to have lunch, and he was like, yes, I've been really wanting to hear from you, Sue Ellen, since I've been gone on my trip. I've been missing you.
Salty.
And so
then why didn't you call her, Sue Ellen? I mean, Clint, why didn't you call her?
How long ago did he get back? I had the feeling like he just got back.
It sounds like he just got back.
He was in Japan, right?
Yeah, I think he might have just got back. Yeah, he was in Japan. Yeah.
So Sue Ellen is moving on to her plan B, which is Clint.
This is her moving on as Clint. So they're going to meet at Madison's at 12:30.
Rebound.
Yeah. So then we cut to the cartel at Ewing Oil, where Jordan Lee and Mary Lee are giving this whole presentation to JR and Leslie.
About coal mining in Utah.
Yeah, which just seems pretty random.
I mean, there's some alternative energy, not.
Right. And Mary Lee's playing it like, we don't really need you, JR, but we're doing this as a sign of goodwill towards you that we're going to let you in on this.
Then what the hell are they there making a presentation for?
She is flip-floppy. She's flip-floppy because once they got the Asian Wells back, she was all like in heat at JR's power and all that stuff and everything. And then she invites him over to the house, but he cancels to go over to Leslie's, and maybe she's a little annoyed at that.
Probably. And also she got a hold of herself a little bit, I think. And she cooled down, and so now she's trying to play hard to get again. Yeah.
This is why Leslie should not be at this meeting.
Well, I don't know. I think Leslie, I think she has a fair point. She's like, you're talking about strip mining, and that has a lot of bad connotations right now. Like, people are talking about that all over. And if we're trying to get Ewing Oil up in the press, like, maybe this isn't the best move. So she's actually doing her job, right? She probably should have waited to say so after they left.
Right, which is why
Yeah.
But I think she's just trying to assert her power at this point, right?
Yeah.
But they get ridiculously upset about it. Like, I think they overreacted.
I think Jordan Lee is like Mary Lee is like some kind of, she's putting on the air, you know, like, I'm so shocked. And Jordan Lee's no better. He's like, it's what
Jordan Lee in this episode.
He is a shitbag in this episode.
A fucking
shitbag.
He is a shitbag and a half. And Mary Lee Stone and her fake, what is it, the fake pearl clutching she's doing right now.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Come
Yeah,
on.
total pearl collection.
Sam, stop.
Right.
And
How
some
dare
of Jordan
you?
Lee's
Really?
some of Jordan Lee's dialogue later on is just off the charts.
If Jordan Lee could have challenged Leslie to a duel, he would have just, I said, good day, sir, is what he would do, because he is pissed.
Right. And I'm going to save that dialogue that he uses later
I
for
noticed
later.
the same,
but he does.
I'm sorry. I noticed the same word coming out over and over and over again in this episode.
Yep.
And it has...
I think we heard the same word.
It has negative connotations, baby.
All the negative connotations.
All the negative connotations.
Yeah, but he gets worse. But in this scene, he does say, are you telling me you're letting a woman do the talking, JR?
Fuck you.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what did I just hear, Jordan, come out of your stupid mouth?
Not to mention, Mary Lee Stone is sitting right there. And last I checked, she was a woman who was very much in charge of what is now her company, or was her company to begin with, that her husband kind of married into.
Stonehurst Oil.
So
yes.
Wasn't it Mary Lee's like father's company or something that Seth married into?
And I think Seth
and
married
then it became
into
Stonehurst. So I'm wondering if her maiden name was Hurst.
Maybe that sounds right.
Mary Lee Hurst. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
She's Southern, but she's German.
It could be though.
I mean,
so they
not
storm
the first one
out
I've ever seen, whatever.
JR lays into Leslie after they leave.
Dude, he is so lucky right now. She's in PR. Like, she could ruin him with one phone call. That was stupid. That was stupid.
And the way he talks to her is he's like, don't you ever do that to me again. Like, I care too much about you to do it in front of people, but like, don't ever do that. And she's just like, whatever, buddy. And she pieces out.
He's talking to her like she's Sue Ellen.
Right.
She's
just
not.
like, yeah, whatever the movie. See ya. Bye.
He shouldn't talk to Sue Ellen like that, but...
He should. Right. And don't talk to someone like Leslie. She's not going to put up with it.
She's not your wife. She is a professional. Like, would you talk to one of the boys in the cartel like that? No, you wouldn't.
Of course he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. So, fuck off. Okay, how many moments of fuck off man are there in this episode? Because...
Yeah, there's so many. It's
really hard because, I like men, but I also fucking hate them.
Well, in this episode, there's not a lot of good representations of men in this episode.
No.
And I'm going to tell you, so we don't have it this episode because I just ordered it on Amazon.com, but we're getting a garbage bell. So every time someone's garbage, we're going to go ding, 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 because they're being fucking garbage. So we're just going to say garbage bell because we don't have it yet.
That is
it's coming.
Awesome. Should we all get like a separate sound effect? Because we can do that.
Oh, yeah. You totally, yes. Do it.
Yes.
There is something for... I can see JR's point of not wanting to have his authority undermined in front of the cartel, but the way he handled it...
was very unprofessional.
Right. And I know I've been in a situation where when I worked at a school, one of the teachers there used to undermine my authority in front of her students.
Right. Which is not great.
And no. So in a way, this kind of reminds me of that whole area of undermining people's position in front of other people. And when you have an issue, you need to take it quietly to the side and deal with it.
Right. And I feel like mostly maybe she should have waited to say so later, but actually I think that she was doing the right thing by saying this is not a great thing to get into. And I think how upset they got about it was way overblown. That was because she was calling it what it is.
It's almost like they were waiting to fly off the handle.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Like they were looking for something to blow up about.
There was a lot of overreacting, I know, in that scene. And Leslie is just like, I'm just here doing my job, guys. So, okay. Anyway.
Let's go back to Alex's office.
Right, where Lucy brings her pictures, her headshots. And he just automatically is like, oh, cool. Well, you've already got the gig, so here's $1,000.
She's wearing the purple again.
Right, yes. Yes, she is.
And this time she's gotten rid of the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And she's put a scrunchie in the back of her hair.
She's mixing it up.
And she's gotten rid of the bow tie-ish thing and unbuttoned a little bit on the top.
I mean, chances are they probably filmed these scenes in the same day. So.
Yes.
Makes sense.
That's my guess.
Makes sense.
Even her scene later at South Fork, because she was wearing purple again.
Mm-hmm. So she gets $1,000 advance for doing it, and she loses her mind. She's so excited. She's like, I think this is the first money she's ever made. So she's just geeked beyond belief.
On top of the world. I mean, that first paycheck, man, there's nothing like it. It's
right, that's true. Right. Mine was not that much.
Did we all photocopy our first paycheck? And
not my first.
Didn't.
So Alex calls Pam, but Jackie answers, and Pam's not there. So I don't even know what the point of that was. It was just like, all right, okay.
Which one? Oh, because Alex. I think that's to show that Alex is calling, but Pam isn't being available and making time for him. I think that's what that's supposed to show. Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay.
He did something for her, but she's not there, which she would have been, a couple episodes ago, been waiting for his call.
Right.
So I think that's what that's trying to show.
She would have been ready to go to Pound Town.
She was thinking about it. And then, Cliff's cleaning out his office.
This is interesting. This is an interesting scene.
It is. I like this scene.
He's salty.
Just a little bit.
He's very salty.
Because Bobby comes in, because it's his office now.
Yep.
Bobby's office.
Right. So he's cleaning, and so Bobby apologizes and says he wishes it hadn't worked out this way. And Cliff doesn't believe him. Doesn't believe a word he's saying.
Cliff says, you have no political experience. I have more experience. You're going to eat you up, and you need to learn, and blah, 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 and all this. So what does Bobby do?
Bobby says, hey, well, if you're so much more experienced and I'm naive, maybe you should teach me. And Cliff was not expecting. That's the last thing that he expected out of Bobby's mouth. And he's just like, what? Are you asking me to work for you? And Bobby's like, yeah, why not? Like, I need a good team.
I need legal counsel.
Yeah. And then Cliff's like, well, how do you know you can trust me? And Bobby says, you know what? I'm going to take my chances.
And then Cliff sticks this pokes it with a little fork here. He goes, I'm not doing it for you or for Pam. I just want to see the look on JR's face when he hears the news.
Right. And then you cut to Bobby, and Bobby's just like, you can read his face where he's like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. And then we cut to Clint and Sue Ellen at lunch at Madison's. Their little date.
Madison's 12:30. That's what I feel like this whole season is.
Madison's 12:30.
Madison's 12:30.
He's basically getting hot and heavy and throwing himself at Clint.
I feel like this is where Sue Ellen's like, okay, second choice. Choice.
Yep. Clint, you're the rebound.
At least she's not going.
Back up.
At least she's not like trying to get back in with JR after all he's done.
Right. Yeah. She's just like, well, if I don't get Dusty, I've always wanted to try it with Clint. Let's just do it.
I didn't feel like they had chemistry. I feel like it was forced.
Yes.
That's why I said Monty
he's a nice man, but
it was a little boring. He's nice, but he's boring to me.
So I just think it's because he has all these like 8th grade feelings for her still. Right? They're those first love, super strong feelings that aren't based in any reality.
Oh my God.
He just has all of these 8th grade feelings.
You're speaking to my soul.
And he's just like, he's telling her like all these things, and he's like, I don't think I can keep doing this because of how I feel, and I'm not a person who can do both things and I'm gonna have to make a choice. And like from the sounds of it, like he's ready to just like leave his wife for her, and she's just like, hey, how about we just don't make that choice today? Let's just put a pin in that.
She's basically in heat there at the table.
She's just kind of like, I just like, because this Ellen, she doesn't have those feels.
She's like, I just want to fuck right now, okay?
Right, she just wants to fuck, and she has no plans beyond that. So she doesn't want him to do anything because she's like, she doesn't want to be a party to that.
A woman taking control of her sexuality like that in 1981. What the fuck?
Those right.
This is like Sue Ellen knocks on door number 1. Dusty's not answering. I'm going to go to door number 2. Hello, Clint. How are you?
Come and Mary, you spoke to my soul because I feel like I'm still single at 35, almost 36, because I'm comparing every man I meet to that middle school first love and the way I felt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
no, I get that. Totally.
If nobody makes me feel those butterflies like he did, then it's not worth it. And I'm like, okay, you are also like 25 years older now. Like, what is wrong with you? Love is more mature than that, but is it really?
But I tell you,
it was so innocent, though.
I am 46 years old, and Joel in the 8th grade, at school dance, I swear to God, like, I'm going to be thinking about that when I'm 85. So
that's a thing?
It's a real thing.
I'm not, like, weird.
No, not at all. Like, because that's your early feelings for things. You don't know how to control it. They're so strong. It's like nerve endings with, like, strongest. If you have like nerve endings that are just like, they're just so strong at the beginning, and then they weaken after time.
That's what, God, I swear to God, I thought that was like real honest to God love. I was like in love with this kid for years. And probably into my early 20s, and I hadn't seen him, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
That's normal, I think.
Well, I'm glad that I don't feel like a complete psycho. Because...
Unless we're psychos together, which is also possible.
We're psychos together.
Whatever, it's fine.
But no.
Good company.
Well, it's so funny, because I was telling some of my... When I went to New York, I was telling the girls about it. like we were reminiscing about first loves and shit, and it so happens that this guy like doesn't live that far outside of New York City, and one of them was like, well, why don't you like look him up on Facebook or so? I was like, well, we're Facebook friends. I was like, but it's weird. Like I wouldn't do that. I was like, he's married with like 3 children. What am I gonna say? Like, you don't
be like, hi, I'm in the area. Do you want to like hang out?
Nah.
I mean, you're not gonna like make out with him or anything, but
no, I would never. No, I wouldn't.
But
it's
just say hi.
That was like Johnny Lawrence looking up Allie on.
It's exactly.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah. I do that shit all the time. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm the world's biggest stalker on Facebook. There is.
Do you think Clint knew Ken Richards, Sue Ellen's other love?
Ken Richards.
Which one was he? What? Refresh my memory.
There's no Ken Richards.
There's a Ken Richards.
Refresh.
Lee Majors.
Hold on. Oh God. The reboot. What the God?
Yeah.
What, no wonder. I was like, Ken Richards. They weren't really even a thing, though. I think she was just kind of using him.
Well, didn't she just?
They were something at some point off camera.
Okay, off screen. Yeah, maybe.
So was it back in the college age, or was it between the two series that they knew each other?
I'd have to go back and look because.
And it's a shame. It's a shame Lee never got to work with Larry on the show because he.
You know what?
To work
That
with
could have
Larry.
been an interesting thing
They were
that
friends.
we should have known more about it because didn't Sue Ellen in the new series say something to Bum like the first time I saw you after I came back from England was when you were in my rearview window. I mean, my rearview mirror because JR was having her tailed because he was possessive. Possessive AF.
Ooh, let's go to the Cattlemen's Club. This is getting good right now.
Yeah. So my thoughts on Clint were cliche, blah.
Jordan comes storming in. Jock says, "Oh, how did the meeting go?" And it didn't. And Jordan says, "We can't do business with JR as long as that witch Leslie Stewart, that uppity broad, is calling the shots at Ewing Oil."
And this is where Mary and I take over and have a man-hating sesh because
oh my God! Okay, if anyone uses the word uppity in front of something, they can fuck right off. Uppity insert because it's basically any fucking slur afterwards. Fucking bullshit.
It is.
And it's always some fucking white man saying so too. I'm just gonna throw that in there.
First he called her that witch Leslie Stewart, and then he said uppity broad.
Motherfucker. So this is where the garbage bell, this is why we need a garbage bell. I was watching my TV going, garbage bell, garbage bell, garbage bell.
And I said, wow.
Jordan's eyeballs are popping out of his head. Oh my God. His
Jordan
smoke's
Lee
coming out of his ears.
Wow, Jordan Lee sucks.
I liked Jordan Lee until this moment, and then I was ready to throw him out the window.
Sorry, Dawn Star. We love you. We do not like Jordan Lee right now.
Yeah, right.
Mary, I know you say this for JR, but let's hear it for Jordan Lee.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Jordan Lee, 100%. Just fuck your stupid face.
Fuck right off. Fuck you.
Not having it, Jordan Lee.
Oh, I love
You want some more man-hating? We can go all night, man.
It's not man-hating. It's toxic man-hating. I'm going to throw that in there. It's toxic man-hating.
Toxic masculinity. Because down with the patriarchy.
It's toxic masculinity. Right. It's a real man wouldn't say that bullshit. It's just toxic men. So fuck them.
The uppity bitch.
I love when lines and things like this come up because it makes for a great podcast episode.
Makes more interesting anyway.
Yes.
Oh, it does.
All right, then we go to Sue Ellen and Clint entering a hotel room.
And I was like, wow, this is...
They go into Pound Town.
Could you be any more predictable?
Right. And
everything is so cliche with him. The flattery,
it's so cliche.
The meals, the hotel room. Like, this is like some corny seduction. Like...
It is.
But this time he can afford the hotel room.
He can afford the hotel room. And
Clint.
I feel really conflicted about this scene because I know that like he just told her all of his feelings and he's basically like, I just have so many feelings. And so I feel bad for him. But then also with Sue Ellen, I'm kind of like, girl, get it. You know?
But at the same time,
go for it.
At the same time, I'm like, she's vulnerable right now and probably not making the best decisions, and he doesn't.
Oh, she's not.
He doesn't know that.
He's making a terrible choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also making some shitty choices. This is not. None of this is a good choice. But
Sue Ellen, Dr. Elby told you you're in control. You have the ability to make good choices.
All right,
at this point,
I choose to get laid.
I think she feels like she is taking control and moving forward.
Her nether regions need some attention.
Because let's face it, when you're a woman and you engage with, this is 1981. When you're a woman and you engage in sexual activity with somebody you're not with in marriage or relationship or whatever, that is taking control of your
right. That's a power.
You're
move,
deciding.
then.
You are deciding who you're having sex with and when and how and what. That is it didn't even occur to me to put it in that perspective. She made that conscious decision to go to the hotel room with him, knowing what was going to happen.
She did. Right.
When a guy does that back then, he's getting lucky. When a woman does that back then, she's thought of as a trap.
Which is fucking bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit.
And I'm gonna say that's all bullshit.
Because what you said, Josh, is that mindset was true and still is true, and it sucks. And no, Sue Ellen is very much taking charge of her life and sexuality, and it's
just a patriarchal state of mind, and
which is bullshit.
Does it go back to the man is assertive and the woman is a bitch?
Oh,
is that
even
what
further
it goes
than
back
that.
to?
Right, that's part of it. Yeah.
Yes.
It goes to a man can
all
go
ties
out
into
and
the
it's
same.
not good for anyone.
It's
not good for anyone.
That's the whole thing. A man can go out and do whatever he wants with whoever he wants, and it's no big deal. But a woman does the same thing and of her own volition, and it's huge. It's terrible.
It's because women were seen as property. And
wait till the next scene.
Right. About that, stay tuned.
Right, stay tuned. But I do have to say, the end of the scene.
Oh, Clint.
When.
Clint.
I'm like, Sue Ellen.
It's girl. He's not making that happen that fast.
The key in the ashtray on the nightstand. Empty ashtray.
No, there is no way.
And it just pans to the ashtray. I'm like,
well, wait a minute. Is Sue Ellen...
Because they're smoldering in those sheets.
Hang on.
That's
Sue Ellen's only supposed to be 34 right now, right?
Something mid-30s, probably.
Okay, she's in her prime. Never mind. Go ahead. I was like, wait a minute. No, I was like, she. This is happening too fast. There's no way she's going. And then I was like,
well, it depends on.
Hold on. Who's in her mid-30s?
Oh. And it also depends a lot on Clint. Just saying that.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. First love, nostalgia, that kind of feelings.
It can take it. Right. It could be a thing.
I get it. I can see that.
Yeah.
Kind of. I can see. Not.
It seems like she enjoyed herself. Go Sue Ellen. I feel like this is a role reversal for most scenes because she's just there to get laid, and he's the one with the feelings. So he's the one that's going to get hurt in this situation.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. That's when I was saying that I didn't feel like there was any chemistry. I think she's trying to make that first love come back, and she can't because
she's trying.
Because well, and here's the weird part: her feelings for Clint, she's kind of hanging on to it as nostalgia, but they're not there anymore because the most recent ones, Dusty and JR. No matter what she says or what she thinks, JR is always going to have the biggest part of her heart. Dusty occupies that in the other half right now. Even though he's kind of told her, I don't ever want to see you again. So she's still very raw and very vulnerable.
She is.
So Clint is it sucks. He's familiar and he's a warm body.
Right. And it's better than the bottle.
It's better than the bottle.
Which would be her other crutch there.
Well, because...
And there are the four orgasms. The positive, oh yes, oh yes. The negative, oh no, oh no. The religious, oh God, oh God. And then the fake orgasm, oh Clint, oh Clint, oh Clint.
I guess. Okay, buckle up for this next scene.
Jock
if you're
is-
driving right now, just pull over because this is
Or
Yeah.
at least
this is intense.
fasten your seatbelts.
Right.
It starts with the sliding doors slamming shut.
That's sinister as fuck, by the way.
Into the
That's like setting Jock up for some like it's like what is gonna happen here? He's about to take JR's head off.
Pissed.
Now, I want to give props out to Jim Davis for fighting through these
He acted the
episodes
shit out of
with
this
his
scene.
health.
Yeah, he did.
Other than his voice, I forgot he was sick watching this scene.
Yeah, he did a good job. That said,
So let's.
I really hated him this scene, which means that he did a really
He did a
good
damn
job.
good job.
May I use the set the scene here?
Yes.
He says, I said JR gets dressed down by Jock for letting some no-count alley cat screw up the deal with
Fuck
the
you,
cartel.
Jock. No count, alley cat.
Motherfucking one. That's. And then, motherfucker
Smarter
says,
than all of you
woman's-
put together is what she is. Fuck you.
May I go
Yes,
into Jock's
yes,
use his
yes.
tone of
Yes,
voice?
yes.
He says, "A woman's place is in the bedroom,
I'm
not
so
the
glad.
boardroom." And who overhears
in
that?
walks Ellie.
And she's like,
she's just like, she says exactly what I said, where she's like, very nice, Jock. And then he's just like, oh shit.
He's like, well, I didn't know you were staring there, Miss Ellie. And she's like, obviously.
Oh, no. And she's
Obviously
like,
not.
Yeah, well, obviously.
no
Duh.
shit.
So, a woman's place is 2 steps behind the man, except when they're walking through a minefield.
Miss Ellie just walked into a minefield and she's like, guess what? I brought the atom bomb.
Yeah, Miss Ellie's like, I have reached my limit with all you motherfuckers, and y'all going down. She's just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool.
This-
Fuck you, I'm out.
This is the biggest mushroom cloud since World
Right.
War II.
She calls him on all of his shit. She's like, everything you touch, you spoil. I'm like, oh,
Which is an interesting parallel. Ooh, we're not there yet. It's an interesting parallel to
use
something
people
that
up and
happens coming up.
You use people up and throw them away, incling your family.
Somebody needs
Your mom's saying that.
Somebody needs to do it. She and Jock
she does.
have let JR get away with all his shit all his life. He's never gonna learn.
She should have done this shit when he was 15.
Younger.
Younger. Right.
Yeah. She should have
Stop
done
that
this
shit in its tracks.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She should have been doing this when he was being breastfed, for crying out loud. Just
I
instilled
remember
it
she
right
said
into
he
him.
was a really shy child, and I'm like, the quiet ones
Right.
are the ones you have to be careful because they're not talking, but they're observing.
They're watching.
And they're thinking.
They're watching.
And they're planning.
And George Carlin said, "I guarantee you, while you're watching out for the quiet one, a loud mofo is going to come in and blow your head off."
You mean?
But anyway, that's George Carlin.
So I said,
And Ellie leaves the scene by going, "You
Give
both
him hell,
sicken
Ellie."
me."
And I wrote, fuck yeah, high five, Ellie.
I put,
And I
uppity.
was sitting here watching, and I think people in the hall could hear me go, "Ooh!"
so for like the last 2 scenes before when I said, wow, Jordan Lee sucks, I said, that's sinister as fuck and Jock sucks too. Like all the men, all the men suck. You all suck right now in this episode. All the men suck.
Except, well, yeah, I guess Clint does. I was going to say Clint's pretty sweet, but he sucks because he's cheating on his wife. So
Yeah,
there's that.
so Clint sucks too. Sorry about it.
Yeah, so I guess he sucks too.
His methods suck. Yeah. Sorry, Clint.
But actually, you know who doesn't really...
What's Bobby been doing?
Actually, Bobby's been okay. Well, he sucks coming up, but he hasn't sucked yet. And actually, surprisingly, Mitch does not really suck in this next scene. Mitch is actually...
This is a very nice scene.
Yeah, Mitch is actually pretty cool in the next scene because Lucy comes home.
Although,
Okay.
I'll give you my...
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So I expected him to react differently, but so Mitch comes home. Lucy's all jazzed because she got her first paycheck, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "I have great news." And she's like, "I have greatness too. Let me go first. And he's like, okay, you go first. And so she shows him the check.
Ladies first.
Right. She shows him her $1,000 check for, just existing basically and being pretty. And he's just like, oh my God. Like, he's just dumbfounded because he's literally like, I've never held this amount of money in my hand before.
So he takes
Which, really?
He takes a check out of his coat for like $60. What
his wallet.
His wallet
He puts it
out
out
of his
his
coat.
wallet
I'm sorry
and
that I
unfolds
said coat instead of wallet. Okay. So his billfold.
I just remember him unfolding it. Yeah.
He takes a check out of his wallet for $60 that he spent 2 nights not studying but working for. And he's like, oh. And he says to Lucy, now what Miss Ellie said in the previous scene about them ruining everything they touch, Mitch is like, you Ewings have the Midas touch.
Oh,
and it was like,
I didn't put that together.
It was like, oh God. So we go to like the worst shit ever to something really wholesome.
Right.
And Lucy had just said, "Oh, you worked so hard."
She was like, "I love you so much, baby. You work so hard." And he's like,
he got the $60 to pay for the maid,
which is
the
why
cleaning lady.
that was super sweet.
Which
because he didn't want it. They didn't have the money.
He knew he had fucked up.
Right.
He knew he had fucked up, and he was trying to make it right.
He was making right
by overreacting like he did.
And the undercurrent, though, that I just kind of picked up on was money is an issue.
Money's been an issue the whole time with them.
Right, but he wants her to earn her own money, but
she earns more than him now. That's the problem.
Right.
Here comes his pride again.
He hasn't really said anything yet. So I'm going to give him credit in this scene where he's just kind of overwhelmed by the amount that it is. But at the same time, you can tell they really love each other.
Right, and you can see kind of like it's almost like the planting of a seed that her earning more is going to become an issue with.
Right.
And he's going, medical school and working all these jobs and serum counts in the labs with the Dr. Carlisle or Carlin or whatever, and this and that and everything he can do just to bring home, crumbs of money and get by. And she just is going to be standing in front of a camera having her picture taken and getting paid exorbitant sums of money.
Can I go sit in front of a camera and get paid like that? Because, yeah.
So I think that's going to probably really start make him uncomfortable. I can just see that making him uncomfortable.
But it might, considering what we've seen from Mitch thus far.
We need to get Charlene and Lee back here to talk about this. Because, I was watching this today. I was like, oh my God, we should talk to them again. Because, how many, they remember the wedding. How many of the little episodes and scenes do they remember working on together? That's what I wonder about.
Yeah. Lots of great stories, I'm sure.
Okay, Sue Ellen. Do not sit there discussing your plan again.
Sue Ellen Elizabeth, we've talked about this before.
No.
Don't say your plans out loud.
Do not. And JR comes in, just lights into her, has been like, I'm glad that you realize you have a child.
Excuse me, JR, where have you been?
When
did you last pick up your child?
JR, you ever changed a diaper?
Right.
Ever? No.
JR, do you know Mrs. Reeves actually doesn't work there anymore?
I was like, you know what? Because
he has no clue. When
Sue Ellen came out of her postpartum depression, guess who was taking care of that baby? And who has been ever since? It's normal for a mom, even a stay-at-home mom, to have the grandparents and babysitters take care of them so they can go do their shit.
Have a break.
That's
so that you can be a good mom.
It's not a privileged thing. It's just something that you do, And she's there with the baby, so he needs to shut the hell up because he's never there.
And I think, though...
He was the sperm donor, basically. That's what he was.
Well, he said that the child came in under suspicious circumstances.
He's like, I don't want to go through this again. And, basically telling her, you're going to fuck around, you better not get pregnant again. And she's like, oh, okay. Whatever, yep.
And I think when people watch the show and all they see are these scenes with Sue Ellen where she's out doing all this and they don't see her at home.
She's a very doting, attentive mother. She's right there.
Right.
Because we know we know these scenes at home take place
Oh,
off
God, yeah.
camera.
We don't see the boring parts.
We don't see the filler,
Right.
so everyone just assumes, oh, I see her only doing this, so she must be neglecting her child because she's running after Dusty.
And that's
she's
what
running after
JR
Clint.
thinks because he's never fucking there.
He's never there anyway.
And
Right.
so when he is there, it's like at breakfast, and he has to go on what his spies tell him, and what Jock, who's like, oh, Sue Ellen's off gallivanting again. Where I'm sure Miss Ellie would be like, she was with
gallivanting.
She was with the baby. She was
That's
with the
the word
baby all
he'd
day,
use.
and then she went in town for like an hour. So fuck off. But they're not going to
Right.
listen to her. They'd be like, oh, you're sticking up for her.
No.
But no, like Sue Ellen, she's sitting there like baby talking to the. I mean, she's baby talking about her plans, which is just dumb to the baby. But she's
Which is so dumb.
it's so dumb. But she's a very hands-on mother. She really is.
She is. Yep.
She's there. She's feeding the baby. She's changing the baby. She's cuddling with the baby. So for him to come and be like, you're neglecting your child, motherfucker, where have you been? Have you ever rocked him to sleep?
And those are the scenes that we as viewers don't see because they take place off camera.
Exactly.
Because they're not propelling the plot forward.
Right. Yes.
So people might sit there going, "Oh, we haven't seen her interact with her child in so many episodes."
But
so
the fact
she
is,
must
like,
be
we're seeing
neglecting
it
him.
now, so we
Right.
know that it happens. Yeah.
And the baby,
Right.
It
just happens
I know the
off
baby
camera.
isn't like an actor, but he's not like squirming to get away,
Right. Exactly. Like, who are you? Ah!
No, he's like,
Like in the early scenes with the baby with JR,
oh
didn't
my
want any
God,
part
that
of it.
was like, okay, let's see, absent father versus hands-on mother.
Right.
It's like we know that Miss Ellie probably talks to Gary on the phone from time to time, but it doesn't take place on screen because it has nothing to do with the plot.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
exactly. And, it's like
Yeah.
the thing, like, Jock would never say anything.
We never saw the Bradys go to the bathroom on the Brady Bunch, but
We never saw
they
anybody
did.
go into the bathroom on any show.
No.
We never saw a toilet in the Brady
You
Bunch.
didn't see a toilet on most shows back then. I hate to break it to you. But it's always the Brady Bunch that everybody brings up. I'm like, okay, you go back any show, any sitcom before that, you never saw a toilet. Ever. People
Very true.
people
Right.
did not pee. Or anything.
It was a simpler
There's no
time.
such
And
thing.
And they had separate beds until
Separate
Fred and Wilma were in the
breads.
same bed.
Yes. I do like my toast.
Beds. Separate breads and beds. In fact, maybe they ate toast in bed.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Just like Ernie, and Bert is mad. So,
You know what I noticed? Bert and Ernie.
yeah.
Those were the names of the two guys also in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep, that's what
The
he named
cop
him
and
from.
the cab driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Exactly. The more you know. So Ray and Donna get married.
Yay!
Yay!
That's the new Mrs. Ewing, kind of.
Yeah, give it is kind of.
And Bobby wants to take them to the old Ewing tradition of the champagne breakfast, which is
Dude, that
5
is an
minutes old.
awesome,
Right, 5 minutes old.
awesome tradition.
Yeah,
It's
sounds
one
good.
to friggin' start.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Except Pam is like, yeah, I'm worried about Cliff though, so I gotta go, and she jets. And Bobby's like, oh, sad face.
No, Pam has a meeting.
Pam,
She just says she has a meeting, but she wonders why
Pam,
Cliff
don't
took
be
the job.
dumb.
Oh, I guess that's true. I combine those things. Yeah, she has a meeting.
Yeah, she-
And then, she's
But
also like
go-
worried about Cliff.
Why though? Go celebrate this new marriage with your friends. Like, go have
If
mimosas.
she took the time off, right? She took the time off to go to the wedding. Like, and it's Pam. You know she can get off. She goes out. She
Pam Ewing
gallivants
can
all
do
the
whatever the hell
time.
she wants, and she chooses to
Right.
skip out on mimosas and brunch with her friends who just got married to go sit with her brother who's feeling
Her friends,
her family,
her
and
family.
like, okay, friends, family, whatever, and it's like she chooses instead to go wallow with her brother in his self-pity and his revenge,
No, we don't know what her meeting
whatever.
was.
But why the hell are you gonna, girl? Why are you gonna go to a meeting
Right.
when you could have had?
Oh,
And Bobby kind of looks at her like he knows that, like, oh, why you?
You might have.
All right,
You might
why
just
you
hear
leaving?
Sam and Benson on the.
but we actually end up finding out what the meeting was.
Right.
In a little bit,
Yeah, we do.
because-
We do because someone shows up.
So Bobby and Ray and Donna, they all show up at the house, and Lucy's there in her purple again.
And there's the announcement is made. Like, this is the new member of the family.
And Ellie is super excited, but she seems really happy for them, probably mostly for Donna, but she seems really happy. And then Lucy, like, has to cut in for attention. She's like, but look, I made money. And you can see Ellie kind of, like, side-eye her. She's like, yeah. Which is funny.
Okay. Ellie wants to throw them a party for the family that evening.
She does, which is really sweet.
Considering the way she's
the tension
acted
recently, it was a nice move.
Yeah, definitely a Miss Ellie move, if ever there was one.
Right.
And when Lucy said that she's going to be the next Miss Young Dallas, and that she wouldn't have gotten the job if it wasn't for Pam getting it through Alex Ward.
Yeah, Bobby
Bye, Bobby.
Bobby all of a sudden starts paying attention, and he's like, ooh, Alex Ward. And so he just, like, literally runs. He literally runs, jumps in his car, and the car squeals, so drink.
We hear it squeal because they're on the soundstage.
Right. Which was actually pretty funny. And then we get, the next scene is him storming into the office.
Pam actually is in a meeting with Liz Craig and Harrison Page.
Right. And
I wanted to see Harrison again.
Yeah, we haven't seen Harrison in person. Yeah.
Yeah, he's boinking Liz Craig, so.
Yep. And so he goes in mad, like, where is she? And they're like, is she with Alex? And we're like, no. And then he's like, okay. And then just runs out and then storms into Alex's. And Alex is like, you're going to see him go like, oh, shit. All right, here we go.
Showdown at the OK Corral.
Mm-hmm. And Alex is, I give Alex handles this pretty well. He's like, if you have a problem, you need to talk to your wife. Like, I was here because there's obviously a problem in your marriage. And otherwise, like, she would not have even looked twice at me. So, don't shoot the messenger. And this all seems to come to as a complete surprise to Bobby. And I wrote, this is all such a surprise to dumb Bobby. Oh, you sweet, adorable idiot.
But maybe it's opening his eyes.
Right, he's finally opening his after like a full fucking season.
The light has dawned on Marblehead.
Oh my God. A fluffy Marblehead.
Which is a town here in Massachusetts, so it has different meaning here. So they say the light has dawned on Marblehead.
Okay. In joke.
Yeah. JR can't find Leslie.
Yeah, and he's pretty annoyed about it.
Yeah. She's depressed about something.
Yeah. And then Bobby comes in and confronts Pam about Alex. And, like, oh my God, Bobby. Like, she just literally told him that she went to see, like, he keeps asking her, like, well, why did you go? And she's like, I went to see him to help Lucy. Like, whatever. I knew you'd be pissed.
What aren't you getting? I did it to help.
Oh my God. And he, like, now you're paying attention, Bobby? Like, now? Like, now isn't the time to be paying attention and get pissed about, like, all that stuff is past. Like, you missed it, buddy. You missed your chance to get pissed about it.
Is there a problem in our marriage? And she says it was that way. It was.
Right.
But then they get interrupted because Jock knocks on the door.
Right. Oh, God, you goddamn beautiful idiot, Bobby. Jesus.
And here we come to the final scene of the episode and a very famous line.
Yes. Everybody's celebrating the marriage of Ray and Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Making a nice toast. And JR is not actually shooting off his mouth, surprisingly.
For once. Give him a minute. But yeah, now at this moment.
Yeah.
And then Ellie she's really excited. And she tells everyone.
It's like a little wedding surprise for Donna.
Yeah, she's like, I have a surprise. Guess what? She's like, we did it. We stopped Takapa. And then Jock looks up, what? And then she's like, yeah, we finally stopped Takapa. And then he says, what, Josh?
I am Takapa.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And then
Can we all try saying that and see how we do our gravelly voices?
I am Takapa.
I am Takapa.
There we go. Jock storms out.
Goddamn Sue Ellen. I fucking love Sue Ellen in this moment. She's like, here's to you, Donna. Welcome to the Ewing family.
I know. It was like, welcome indeed.
Slow clap, Sue Ellen. Slow clap.
I mean, and that's when you know.
I'm surprised Sue Ellen was even home that night.
This is when you know Sue Ellen's sober. That's just her being a salty bitch.
That's just Sue Ellen.
And it's great.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm surprised she pried herself out of that hotel bed and brought herself home for this gathering.
Well, I mean, girl was done, and she was good. She was good to go. She was there for one thing. She didn't need to loiter.
She was done in 30 seconds. Clint was a minute man, and she was out the door.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta go. Bye. And I give this one.
Chunk and go.
I give this a 3.85, which is high for me, and a literal soapbox.
High for you, or low for you?
High for me. 4.85 is really high
for
me.
I thought you said 3.85.
You said 3.85.
I did?
I did hear 3.85,
so
yes.
Correction. I'm used to giving threes. I'm giving it a 4.85 and a literal soapbox.
Let me think. Melanie, go ahead. I have to think for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get a 4.75 and a check for $1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000. It's more money than I've ever held in my hand in my life.
Which is so sad. Like, how much was $1,000 in 1981? Like, I'm gonna find out while Josh thinks.
Want me to do the inflation calculator? I will.
No, I want to know what $60 is nowadays too, because that seems like a low amount of money to make for 2 nights of work.
But I bet like minimum wage was like $1.85 an hour or something. Well, bullshit.
When I started working in 1988, it was $3.85.
It was $4.25 in '94 when I started working.
It was $5.25 when I started working.
When I left the supermarket in 2003, because I kept it for like a day a week here or there, just as a spot thing. I purchased an item for $1,000. They were paying me $9 and something an hour, and they were starting people at like $12 an hour.
Yeah, that's always annoying.
I said I need to make more, or I'm going to have to. And they said, well, it was nice having you.
So basically, Lucy got a check for $3,067.13.
Okay, and how much was 60?
Mitch brought home for $60.
So 60 is $184.03.
Oof. That's terrible for 2 nights of work.
Yeah.
I'd rather be studying.
So basically, he made like $90 a night, kinda, and Lucy was like, "Hey, bitches, $3,100. Woo!
Hey. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I am Takapa classic. So I'm going to split the difference. I'm gonna go to 4.8.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with a nice strip mining operation in Utah.
Nice. All right. Thank you for joining us on the Ewing Barbecue. Please check out our Patreon, our merch at tpublic.com/user/the Ewing Barbecue. You can check out that in your show notes too and just click on it. Also our Facebook group, and we have our Instagram, which is Ewing BBQ, and Twitter is BBQ Ewing. And we are getting pretty close to getting 1,000 followers on Instagram. Ooh. So once we hit 1,000, I heard we get to do fancier stuff on our Instagram. So if you can like just tag a friend. If you have other social media accounts, just add those, because we
create other accounts.
We're trying to get to 1,000 so we can do like fancy stuff, and we can like link to our merch and stuff. So help a friend out, yo. And also like tell a friend about our podcast if you have someone who watches Dallas. Wait, or recommend Dallas to someone. if you have friends. Recommend.
I have no friends.
Well,
you are all individuals. We are all individuals.
Make an invisible friend and tell that invisible friend to watch Dallas and then listen to our podcast.
This goes out to you, Harvey, the invisible rabbit. Next week, we talk about the episode Mark of Cain.
Mark of Cain, episode.
Is it next week or next time?
I notice.
Next time, because we are not on a great schedule, because someone's going on vacation, so we're going to have to miss a couple weeks.
February is just weird. I mean, let's be honest. Every month is weird for the four of us. We're always doing something.
It's hard. It's hard getting 4 people to do the same thing. It's hard, but we do our best.
Now, maybe someday we'll get famous enough where none of us will have to work and we could do this full time. Absolutely.
Right. If we could do this full time, we'd need a fucking lot of Patreon supporters for that, though.
We would.
Hey, Patreon pals.
And we may have to expand our horizons beyond just Dallas episode by episode.
Well, if we were able to do this full time, we would do all of the shows.
You would have all the content all the time, always.
But we want to thank you guys just for listening because it's awesome that people actually listen to us on purpose. Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, it's amazing. And people who choose to actually give us money through Patreon, you guys fucking rock. You guys are awesome.
It really goes a long way because
we love you guys.
I didn't realize how much work Mary puts into editing every episode because I've tried editing our still non-existent really website, and God, that takes a lot. So what you do, ma'am, is thank you.
It's some work, but it's worth it.
I know from editing video how much time goes into video projects. So.
And I edit it in a video editing program because that's what I do. So
I can speak from experience on other projects about
editing
the amount of
is
time
just a bitch. Video, audio, paper.
I like it, but that's me.
Well, it is.
Yeah, some of us like to make editing our bitch.
Right.
I shouldn't say it's a bitch. It's painstakingly. It
takes a lot of time and energy and concentration. I think it's like putting together a puzzle, and I love puzzles.
Mary has patience. She has more patience than I do. I'm not a patient person.
No, ma'am, I don't have. I'm not a doctor. I'm sorry. I don't know. And one other note about the next episode. I've been watching St. Elsewhere on Hulu, which just added picket fences, by the way. Next week's episode has someone that was a regular on St. Elsewhere joining the cast.
And speaking of picket fences, I'm really excited about this. I told Josh about this. I have a friend who was a child actor, and she was on an episode of Picket Fences. And I've never seen the show. Yeah. My husband used to work with her. And
no kidding.
She was also a child actor in Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So with another actor from Picket Fences who played.
I bet it was the same casting.
Here we
person.
go, 6 degrees.
So
I'm gonna look up Nicole's episode and post it because I did find that she was a meme because she's sitting behind the kid who says boys have penis, girls have vagina from Kindergarten Cop.
That might have been the kid from Picket Fences, the little kid.
It could be. And she's sitting, she doesn't have a line. She's just, sitting behind him. But I'm like, you're in a meme! So, pretty fun.
And also in Kindergarten Cop, a degree of separation from Dallas were the actors who played Bobby and Betsy on Knots Landing, Gary and Val's twins.
Interesting. Well, cool. Well, we should wrap this up, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye.
Y'all come back now.
I gotta tell you guys, I am not Takapa.
God damn it.
You
uppity broad.
I am not Takapa. I am an uppity broad.
Next on Dallas.
Takapa's important to me, Bobby.
More important than your marriage.
That's up to your mama.
Ray's feelings for Jock haven't changed just because he's a Ewing. Maybe a lot of other things haven't changed. Like Jock continuing to keep little secrets from me.
I think there's a conflict of interest here.
The way I see it, Senator, it would be best for everyone if you were to ask the Lieutenant Governor to remove you from this panel.
Are you asking me to divorce Sue Ellen?
You should do whatever it is you really want to do. The ball's in your court, JR.